Hey, what's up, guys and girls, obviously, as well. Welcome back to what I think is going to be an incredibly exciting video. And it's going to be incredibly exciting because this is really, this is one of the wonderful things, one of the amazing things about being truly and utterly passionate about not only luxurious watches, but also once in a while opening up your mind, taking a chance, taking a risk, and then just go with the flow and say yes to it. What I mean with that is, so you've got the traditional collector that has a list of well-known brands, and they stick and remain only to those brands. Then you have the collectors that are looking very upper class, that are what I refer to as purists. They are like, it has to be like this, it has to be like that, there is nothing in between. Quartz is bad, mechanical is great, if you can get self-winding, even better. Like $100,000 for a watch is what, that's then we're talking about a real piece. And then there are, I would say, the explorer. The explorer is somebody like myself. The explorer is we're very open-minded. We're very open-minded to what's out there, and are willing to risk, are willing to give everybody a chance. And when I say everybody, I mean literally everybody. So one of the things that I find incredibly interesting about watches is, especially over the past decade, is this amazing amount of new up-and-coming brands that is all of a sudden appearing like mushrooms in a forest after rain. All of a sudden they just pop up. There's a lot of this Kickstarter. There's a lot of Fund Me and all of these different things. And there are also those that are beyond that point, that are part of this community of micro brands. And I have to admit, I'm finding micro brands really exciting. I am absolutely hooked on the idea of new thinking, different thinking, challenging the status quo and all of these things. And this is one of the reasons why I am so excited about this one that I have now, because I would say I would go so far, because also I'm a very big diver enthusiast, and so I would almost go so far and say I've hit pay dirt on this one. I really love it, and it's just incredible. And so I heard about this micro brand the first time maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and one of the things that came popping up, this micro brand. So there was something around, like, one of the former co-founder, ex-CEOs, executive, and something like that, on and on, from Encore, that started a new brand, and then there was something to look after. And I have to admit, with Encore, I have very limited experience. I have seen some of the pieces. I do not own any of the pieces, so I wasn't really able to say love it, hate it. I have no opinion about it. But I heard stories about more and more of people that I was in communication with, or that I'm part of communities with, that was coming and saying, hey, listen, you gotta check out this brand here. You gotta check it out, Martin. You are gonna love it. And I'm like, oh, okay. At one point I was like, great, whatever. Onto my MacBook, do a bit of search on it. The first thing that actually came up was it's an organization. I'm like, this can't be true. And so I had a lot of difficulties actually finding any information about this company. And that was one of the things where I was like, okay, maybe this is not so cool after all. But with persistency, with a lot of recommendation from my friends, I kept on going. And then then I started looking at it. And so it is a Hong Kong-based company, and they are micro brand, and they are basically, as I mentioned, they're coming out of the Ancon family, or at least the executive level there. They have a co-owner or they have an owner, so I'm not really sure how all of those different things are working. Nevertheless, one of the things that I found incredibly interesting was this is really, really focusing on taking the diver or the diving pieces back to its originality, if you will. So really, really going back to the fundamentals of diving. And not only that, but really look at building a diver's piece that is absolutely bam, unbreakable. It is you have incredible specs on this piece here. And so the more I looked at it, the more I started being very, very curious about knowing more, and not only about the piece in itself or the models that they have, but also what is it that's going on here, and like why haven't I heard more about it? And so two of the things that pops up as, or maybe three things that pops up as like, this is the reason why you should stay clear of it, Martin. And that's where I'm open-minded. So like, hey, listen, let's give them a chance, right? The first one was, it is Hong Kong based / China based. And I'm like, okay, I did a video some time ago about D1 that does assembly in China. And I find that piece absolutely incredible. So like, okay, not really a concern, scratch that out. The next one was, one of the things that really, really stood out was like it's utilizing Seiko movement. So, and that was one of the things that made me giggle a bit, because it's using the NH35 movement from Seiko. And yeah, Martin, it's not ETA. It's not ETA, so it cannot be good. So hey, if you haven't noticed, I have like several Seikos already. And I absolutely love them. I think that they are fantastic. I have not a single bad word against Seiko. And the mechanics, absolutely nothing. Scratch that out as well. So that was the second one that was like, okay, this is like whatever. This is like the worst that you can throw at me. And that was like, oh, okay. So what are we talking about here? And like that's the only thing that stops me from buying it. Seiko movement, I don't have a problem with that because I already have multiple Seikos, and that it's Hong Kong / Chinese based. That doesn't make any sense to me as well. So I was like, okay. Then I started looking at it, and I got in contact I started communicating with one of the retail sellers of this one here. And they were the nicest guys ever. They were so helpful. They were explaining everything. And one of the things that they were calling out as well, that like, hey, listen, Martin, the reason why people will tell you that you should stay clear of this is because, Hong Kong, Seiko and all of these different things. However, you can't, you shouldn't always, certain times that the wisdom of the crowd is not wisdom. It's just one or two people that have bad experience with it. So I wanted to make my own experience. And so my point of view was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And really started looking at like the different types and models and all of these different things. And I really, really fell in love with it right away. And so the name of the company is, of course, it's called OceanX. So OceanX is, in my opinion, so incredibly true to the diving, the whole aspect around diving and divers watches as well, right? And so one of the things that I find absolutely incredible, as I mentioned already, is the specs of this watch. Now, I'm not going to run through it because that wouldn't be one of my videos, because I really want to go into what I think is so cool about this piece. But some of the things with the specs that's absolutely incredible is, and again, like this, make up your own mind, look at it from your own perspective, see if this is something you love or this is something that you don't love. If you are into divers watches, this is one of those pieces that you do really strongly have to consider to have in your collection. First off, water resistant, 1,000 meters. That's insane. Like, there is no normal human being that dives 1,000 meters. That's just insane. It's absolutely incredible. And so that 1,000 meter, that just went like, my head started hurting. I was like, I can't even like where, what? Like, I dive 4 meters maybe. If I do scuba diving, I go 6 meters. I certainly do not go 1,000 meters. That's just incredible. So 1,000 meters, that's just mind blowing. Crown, it's got power reserve, 40 hours, 40-hour power reserve. Incredible for the price that this piece comes for. I mean, this is we're not talking about Omega or Rolex prices. We're talking about $300, $400, $500. So like, again, just incredible what you get for that amount of money. Sapphire crystal, absolutely robust as crazy. Rubber curve-in strap as well. That just, it's gorgeous. You will see that yourself. Of course, warranties coming with that. And then one of the things that just is absolutely incredible is the coating of it. So what they're using is something that's called DLC blank coating, which just goes so well with the bezel, which is carbon fiber. It's just insanely cool looking. And then here comes the thing. If you are going to dive 100 meters, okay, not a problem with your piece. 200 meters, could be. 250 meters, okay. But if you go beyond 250, what happens is that you need to start to use this that is referred to as a diver's bell. And that means that you are descending. And when you descend like far down, what happens is the pressure, the oxygen and all of these things becomes like toxin, right? So that's like, it just changes all of these different things. And so what they have put in the piece as well is just absolutely one of the things that I just think makes it so incredibly cool is a helium vowel. Now, a helium vowel, we'll get into that, but that is just absolutely incredibly cool looking. Now, with the movement, the NH35 movement, it is one of the things that I'm starting to notice that micro brands in general has a certain flair or certain love for that specific movement from Seiko. And I would think, now I don't know the specific price lines here or price levels, but I would think it has something to do with the fact that it's fairly expensive and yet incredibly robust and actually really precise. Again, is it the most precise down to plus minus 1 second a day? No, I think you're looking at plus minus 15 seconds, maybe plus minus 30 seconds a day, which is, again, for that amount of money, can I live with that? You better believe it that I can. Now, of course, NH35 Seiko movement is not ETA, right? You can't compare it, and neither should you. It's like, you know, Ford is not Tesla. Tesla is not Ford. I mean, okay, great. I mean, I don't know if that's the best example, but they're two different companies. Don't compare that, right? It's not, you can't compare apples with oranges. It's, you know, both fruits, but they're different. That's what I'm trying to get to. So NH35 versus ETA, they're not the same thing. They don't cost the same to produce, and they have a different structure of how they are even producing, right? And so, like, it's not fair to say, yeah, but it's not as good as ETA. Well, yeah, no, I agree. Well, it's not as good as in-house movement. Okay, arguably, okay, agree as well. It's not Seamaster, it's not Speedmaster, it's not Submariner. It's no, you're right, it's not. It's OceanX and it's Sharkmaster 1000. That's what it is. That's what you bought, buddy. And once you look at that, once you look at it from that perspective, and you look at what you're getting for what you pay, it's absolutely mental. So for me, this is really where I love it. And as I said, I think I hit pay dirt on it because I instantaneously fell in love with it. And that's just, I mean, the guys from Serious Watches that were actually helping, advising, guiding, and supporting in the whole process did a fantastic job. And not only that, the customer service, brilliant. And again, the customer service is also what you're paying for. And when you're not paying tens of thousands or even thousands and thousands of dollars for a piece, but you're paying hundreds of dollars and you still get that level of service, that's actually something where you're like, well, they've got it figured out. This is really, really cool. This is serious. So big shout out to the guys at Serious Watches for the help and support there. And yeah, really love it, love it, love it. So I don't know about you, but maybe you're curious to see what it actually looks like. And so it comes in this very, it doesn't look like much, right? Like OceanX, and it's got the X with the shark, which I actually, I think is really neat. Now, so far so good. OceanX Sharkmaster 1000, nothing special, right? Okay, let's get it out. And here is where you already start to see that, hey, this is really cool. Again, you've got the OceanX, right? Like with the logo with the shark, but look at that case. Look at that box. That is how it comes. And it comes with this small little neat feature, and open it up, roll it completely back. Look, the wooden case, brilliant. And inside of it, we've got of course, the documentation, right? Neatly put in place here, OceanX. Let's stick it over here. Let's get ready to see some really cool stuff. So here it is. And that's what it looks like. And now I will tell you, I am, if you haven't noticed it with my color of clothing in general, I'm a big fan of anything that is black, white, a bit of grayish, but I have not seen anything where they combine it that cool. Look at that's just very cool. Look at the red inside as well, Sharkmaster 1000. And so I was, by the way, and here you have the inscription if you can see it, helium escape valve. The helium escape valve is actually that one sitting right there. And so interesting about the helium escape valve. So helium escape valve is not a new concept. It's actually something that I believe that Rolex pioneered like decades and decades ago. And the concept of it is incredible. So imagine you take your diver's piece and imagine you go beyond those 250 where oxygen starts to be toxin. Now what happens is because of the pressure, what you can actually have is toxic gases, almost gases, comes into your piece, okay? So there's nothing bad so far. It just sieves into the watch. Now, when you are ascending and you would get into a pressure chamber, for example, and you're depressurizing, so you don't get blood clots and what have you, all of these diverse diseases, right, and sicknesses. What happens with your watch is that those gases cannot escape, and literally what could happen and what was found to happen in, when they started pioneering this whole thing was that the bezel just bing broke off because it had to get out somehow. Now, because helium is the tiniest particles, the helium escape valve, what it actually does is it allows either automatically or manually to release the gases through that valve. Again, the valve that sits there, right? That valve there allows gases that are in your watch to sieve out without making a damage to the piece in itself. And that there is actually really cool. So it is a small, tiny little cylinder with helium in it that balances the pressure. And then either you do it manually or you do it automatically. So that means that the watch will decompressurize itself more or less. There are ones where you unscrew it and then it sieves normally. There's one where you just push it and all of these different things. The escape valve, if you are a severe, deep diver, like 500 meters and more, that's what you need. Sorry, because the last thing you need is that your watch all of a sudden, when you're sitting and relaxing, explodes in your face. That's why it's so important. Now, is it an overkill with a normal diver's watch? Potentially, yes. Does it look cool? You better believe it, man. You better believe it. Those inscriptions there and that little thing here on that it's, again, look at that. Just look at that up here. Let me just see if I can get it. There. That there is wicked. Now, that's one of the things. Of course, you have, again, bezel, screwable, clickable, all of the nice little thing, luminant, all of that. There is nothing there. There's a crown. It goes out 4 levels. So 0, 1, 2, and 3, where you are setting the time, the date, the this, the that, all of these different things. That's very, very cool. The rubber band in itself is very, very cool, because, and this is one of my, this is one of the things that really, really gets my blood pumping, because I love it, is the curve end as well. Look at that. So it doesn't stick out, it curves the whole way to the piece, which is what I love in my divers. I absolutely love the fact that it's like that. There is so cool. Besides that, the weight of it, the weight is comparable to other pieces I have, is massive. It is a heavy piece. Thickness of it, yeah, it is a bit thicker, but that's what you expect from decent divers watches. And once you get it on, like Donkey Kong, there you go. That's what it looks like. Let me get a bit closer so you can see it. For me, it's incredible. This just is, I mean, that rocks my boat completely. So what you have is an incredible piece, right? So this one here, from a size perspective, this is a 44 millimeter. Not that it matters, because once it's on, and I think that has something to do with the whole aspect of the curvedness of it as well. I don't know. It's just me philosophizing here. But the 44 does not feel at all big. It doesn't feel clunky. It really is, once I have it on, once I've put it on, it's incredible. I absolutely love it. Now, would I recommend you to look it up? Yeah, obviously I would, because this is very, very decent priced. Because microbrands are not hit, or they haven't hit mainstream yet, you can find a lot of really, really cool pieces for an incredibly decent price, okay? So there is an opportunity to look for microbrands that is gonna give you a lot of value for limited amount of cost, right? And again, okay, the ingredients in it, like the mechanics, the 35 from Seiko, right? The NH35 from Seiko. It's not ETA. Let's stop that conversation. You get what you get with the mechanics. Now, am I okay with that? Yeah, because I have a piece that goes to 1,000 meters. Would I ever go to 1,000 meters of diving? No, most probably never. No, it's not even probable. I will never go to that, but I could, bang, because of this one. Okay, so one of the things that you do have an opportunity for is to be very open-minded, and not by default saying, because it's a micro brand, or because it's Chinese, or because it's I was about to say French. I'm sure that people would say, like, okay, French, I'll do that. But because it's Italian, or because it's this, or because of like that, it's not Swiss made. No, I get that. Okay, I get that. But there is more to the world than Swiss made. I love Swiss made watches. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But I also love other watches. For me, it's not either or. For me, it's and. And so with this piece here, OceanX, I think that they have made a very, very strong contribution to what a diver's watch 2021. I don't know when it came out specifically. I think this one is brand new, obviously, but this is 2020, 2021, I think, that they started with this specific one. I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, forgive me. But what I'm looking at is, when you are looking at making a list over the most competent divers watches, not the most expensive divers watches, that's a different one. The most competent and functional divers watches in the world, you normally have this list of, like, you have Omega on it, you would have Rolex on it, you would have this on it. I was talking to a friend of mine about it the other day, and you would have maybe Oris on it, you would have like other watches on it as well. Like, for me, I don't disagree with those brands, But I would argue for the aspect of diving, not aesthetics and not brand and not price, but for functionality, there are a couple of brands that you are consequentially missing. One, Citizen is by far one of the best watches for diving, by far. The second one I would say is Seiko is highly, highly underestimated when it comes to divers watches as well. Highly. I mean, they've got some great, great pieces as well. And it's not because I'm getting money from Seiko to say this, but it is just, that's a fact. And then I would now argue that I think that OceanX and the Sharkmaster 1000 is a very strong competitor, very, very strong contributor. And I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, guys, but it's a very contender. That's the word. A very strong contender to go on the list of divers watches that really, really can rock and roll under any condition. I swear to God, any conditions. Like there is, I mean, when you get this piece and you unpack it or unbox it, what you are looking at is 100% durability. This piece is built for 1,000 meters of diving. That's what they've done. It's almost like the company looked at it and say, right, here's the basic fundamentals of the piece that we're gonna make now. It has to be durable for 1,000 meters. Anything else than that, we're not interested in that. And so how do we take that piece and reverse engineer it and then also make it look absolutely gorgeous and incredibly sexy and cool? And everybody goes like, 1,000 meters? Yes. Okay, so we need these different things. It needs to be durable, robust. It needs to be functional. It needs to be this. Yes, all of that. Okay, and it needs to look very, very cool as well. Yes. It needs to look very, very sharp. Yeah. It needs to look incredibly sexy as well. That would be nice. Okay, bam. Here's what it's going to look like. Sharkmaster 1000. There you have it, boss. And that's what they got. They got a piece that, in my opinion, is absolutely incredible. Can I go out now and test it and say, well, let's put it to the test. Let's do 1000. No, I cannot put it to the test because I am not at all a professional diver. I am not even close to being a diver that can take it down on that amount of depth. It has been tested. One of the things that OceanX is very proud of with the Sharkmaster 1000 is they've tested it. They have done the test on that amount of depth, and it works. The valve works, the helium valve works, the clock works, the mechanics, everything works. And so when they do that, at the pressure that they put it under, the focus on ATMs and all of these different things just proves that, hey, it works. It absolutely works. And so that is really one of the things where I look at it and I go to my, like, I think to myself, like, incredible. So I am very excited to have taken the opportunity and said, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to do something that, maybe 6 months, 12 months, I wouldn't have done. And that is to go and say, I'm going to put money on this. I wouldn't say gamble, because by the end of the day, you can always sell or resell, right? But one of the things, I don't think that 12 months ago, I would have done it the same way. I think I would have been sitting and like, let's go save. Now it's a completely different story because I've become very, very open-minded in testing and trying and listening to other people's advices, recommendations, and what have you. At the same time, also take everything that I get of information into consideration and build my own opinion about it and saying, right, okay, but I think that's really, good or bad based on what I'm hearing you're saying and all of these things. As I mentioned, if the only thing that you have against the OceanX and the Sharkmaster 1000 is that it's Seiko movement or that it's made in Hong Kong, okay. I mean, like, my opinion, that doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. If the only thing you can say is that it's not made by Rolex, it cannot be a quality diver's watch, I would argue there are watches that are performing far beyond Rolex when it comes to divers watches. So let's not even start that conversation. The conversation about divers watches is functionality, absolutely functionality. It's durability, right? It is robustness of it, and it is the specs of it as well, right? And so once you put all of these different things together, I really would say that you get a lot of value versus the cost of this piece. I really, really, honestly, truly believe that. Now, having said that, always let's go back to the conversation about value, cost, and investment. Do I think that this here is going to be the best investments that the best investment I've ever made in a watch, a diver's watch? That is going to be difficult to do, my friend. That's going to be very difficult to do because I bought a Citizen, what is that? Almost 30 years ago, okay? Almost 30 years ago. And the value of that, I bought it for, I would say around 150, 200 euros. In today's value, like like not in today's value, but I had somebody recently offer me close to $2,000 on it. Because it's a collector, because it's out of production, because it's an amazing piece, and so on and so on and so on. Now, is that this OceanX, is that going to be the same story 10 years from now? I don't think so. I don't know. But that doesn't scare me because my investment in it is $300-400 at a maximum. I'm not sure how much I bought it for, but I think around 350 or something like that. So am I terribly, terribly sorry and sad that 6 months from now, 12 months from now, I can't sell it for $1,000? No, I'm not, because I can already tell you that as a day beater that I've been wearing basically every day since I got it, which is now 2-3 weeks ago, it has already given me more than enough pleasure than paying those $300 for it. Now, I do a lot of, when I have the time, I do a lot of manual work. I do a lot of garden work. I do a lot of cleaning. I do a lot of all of these different things. And I was wearing this, and I have been wearing this on severely, severely hard and dirty work. And you flush it off afterwards, not a scratch or anything wrong with it. Now, there has been done a lot of things, or there has been a lot of things that has hit it. There has been a lot of bumping into other things. There has been a lot of, not having to take care of it because, oh my God, it's not a 10,000 euro watch or something like that. But I can tell you, I do not have to be worried that anything is going to happen to it. And how cool is that? That is one of the reasons why when you buy that daily beater, right? That daily one where you don't have to worry about scratches. You don't have to worry about bumping into different things, dropping it on the floor, what have you. Not that you should still. You should take care of your watches, even if it's a daily beater. That's not what I mean to say. But that you can have a watch like this one, that if you drop it on the floor, if you bump into things, if you hit things with it, still there is nothing to see from it. As I said, I've been wearing this for like 2 weeks, and I've done a lot of really, really manual, hard, dirty work, and it is absolutely as brand new. Nothing. It's mixture of the carbon fiber, it's a mixture of the coating, it's a mixture of the sapphire, it's a mixture of the mechanics, it's a mixture of all of these different things that just makes it incredibly robust and incredibly powerful. Now, the last but not least for me when I look at it is that this is a piece that, although diver watches would and can command a lot of I don't know how to put this in the right way. If you're wearing an oversized diver's watch, it can look incredibly silly, but it can also look like incredible power statement. Rah, I'm here, alpha monkey. Because, and here is a little trick, because it's that you have the stainless steel inside, where you have the helium escape valve written on it. The stainless steel, you've got the carbon, you've got the coating, you've got the white, and you've got the red. You've got the red again, right? You got a red here. The Sharkmaster 1000 is written in red. Because of that color combination, what happens is, in my eyes, it looks less as a power statement and much like a cool factor. And what I mean with that is, when you are looking at color dynamics, red and black looks incredibly cool together. But with a bit of white on it, it looks absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's almost like you go towards that, not the Pepsi look, but more like the Coca-Cola look, but you tone it down. It just, for me, looks super, super cool. Now, what I will say is, if you're wearing a white t-shirt with a piece like that, it stands out like a sore thumb. In my opinion, when you're wearing something like this, black on black with that tint of red in it, you want to go with something like black, gray, white, right? Because otherwise it's just, we're here. It stands out like really, as I said, a sore thumb. From a style perspective, like, in my opinion, because I'm very, my style is very urban, for me, this piece is just 100% sexiness and 100% cool. That's what I have to say. There is, for me, again, it goes jeans, t-shirt, this one, cap, and then I'm ready to rock. Of course, socks and shoes as well, but okay, whatever, right? But for me, it is just that cool factor that it has. It's that sexiness that it has. Also, because of that curve end strap, right? The curve end strap, for me, just makes it look so like complete, right? While when you have, for example, NATO or whatever, looks cool. I have that as well on some of my pieces. It looks cool, but that curve, that just, for me, on a divers, is how you do it. It's, if you are not doing curve on divers, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. And that is really one of the things where I think that they have looked at every single piece in the world of bestseller watches, and they've gone with a design where it just takes the best of all of the watches. I really, really think that, as much as it's a heritage for the original diver, original ocean, original Mother Nature, original all of these things, it is also tremendous amount of looking at the development of divers watches over time, over the past many, many decades, coming up with a design that, in my eyes, price for what you pay for it, to this one, I would say close to flawless. I normally don't say this a lot, but I literally think that they have, for this amount of money that you pay for it, they've made a flawless piece of equipment. It is amazing. Now, you might agree, you might disagree, and I'm absolutely okay for that. What I would say is, do not, because of hey, it's made here or it's made there, it's not this, it's not that, don't sign anything off. Be open, be open. Do your own research, do your own study, look at it from your perspective. What are you looking for? What's your type? What's your personality? What are you going to use it for? What's your budget? Look at all of those different things, take that into consideration, and then make your opinion about it. Remember, just because a lot of people tell you they don't like it, doesn't mean you don't have to like it. Or it doesn't mean that you have to like it. By the end of the day, you have to find your unique style. And your unique style could be, like me, that you find this highly underestimated, highly underrated piece, and you just go, love it, absolutely love it, right? And so, really, you have to be careful with, again, all of the experts telling you what you should think and what you shouldn't think. You should think what you think. So, does it fit into your budget? Is this something that you would wear on a day-to-day perspective, or a day-to-day, is this something that fits in with what you're wearing of clothing? Again, wearing a heavy, solid diver's watch and you're wearing suit only at work, maybe that's not really what you're looking at here. If you are somebody that is all dress watches, and then all of a sudden you go from what dress watch to some, maybe that's a bit too big of a transition as well. But anyways, doesn't matter if what you are thinking, what you are looking at, what you're seeing, and what feelings are coming as well is invoked by this piece, and you're saying, why don't I give it a try? Go for it. Don't let anybody stop you with that. And they're like, yeah, but it's not this or it's not that. No, you're right. It's not. It is what it is. It's the same thing as Rolex is not Patek Philippe, right? It's not. And so you will have all of the haters. You will have all of the people that are going to say, no, this is terrible. This is not good. This is that. Okay, fine, right? I had the same thing with Invicta. So I have an Invicta. I actually have two pieces of them. And it's the same thing. People are like this is, it's not Rolex. Really? Did you get that from the fact that the watch is called, or the brand is called Invicta? That's where you got it? That it's not Rolex, right? Like, you will always have people like that, but that shouldn't stop you from making the decision of something that you feel is gonna be you. That's what I do, and that is where I am super stoked. I am so on fire with this piece right now. And I can tell you, this is already being moved into one of my favorite, it's moved into one of my cases with my favorite watches to wear, or my favorite pieces to wear. It's already there. I wear it, and I am testing the physical limits of how much I can rock this piece before it says, you know what, Martin, we might be able to go to 1,000 meters in depth, right? But like what you're doing, that's too much. It hasn't said that. And I doubt that it's going to say that. So, friends, what I can recommend you is be open, right? Be open, test, try, find out for yourself, okay? You have opinions. And by the end of the day, it's you that have to wear the piece, nobody else. Unless, of course, you buy it as a present, but that is not you. But when you buy a piece for yourself, you have to wear it, not somebody else. You have to wear it. And if you're perfectly fine with wearing it, go for it. If it makes you happy, go for it. If you can afford it, if it's something that will make you happy, go for it. Don't let people stop you on that, because you lose out a tremendous opportunity of finding great quality for decent money when it comes to micro brands. So micro brands is here to stay. And that means you can go after the inflated prices of the luxury watches, or you can actually buy something where you get a lot of value for very limited amount of money. Choice is yours. I am very open-minded with these things, and I'll continue to be even more open-minded. And so if you have a micro brand that you absolutely love, why don't you stick it in the comment underneath? Let me know about it. Let me know what you think about micro brands in general, right? Is it something that you are into? Is it something you've got bad experience with, good experience, no experience with? Why don't you let me know in the comments as well? Don't forget to click like. Every little like helps. It really does. And I appreciate all of the love from all of you guys and girls so far. Don't forget to subscribe, because we've got some incredible videos still coming, and we will continue to generate material. And so, having said that, thank you very much for watching this time. Don't forget that by the end of the day, all decisions on what you put on your wrist are yours. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. With that, take care, see you next time, and have a great day.